안녕하세요 여러분, it's 여러분 AJ요. My name is AJ. Welcome back to Shadow Spinner Reacts, where we are continuing with episode 2 of Moving. Now, I am currently watching this on Hulu. You can also watch it on Disney Plus, although last I checked, they only had the dubbed version, which, you know, voice actors do their best, but my personal opinion is that voice acting should be reserved for animation and not over top of somebody's live performance, because it's really hard to get your voiceover acting to match the original acting of, you know, the live action actor. And it just doesn't work. For me, it doesn't work. So I recommend watching it on Hulu. But anyway, make sure you watch it one of those two places before watching with me. Otherwise, you're going to probably be confused because we chop it up for copyright. Please also don't forget to go ahead and check out the Patreon. You can vote in the polls there for what to watch next. You can get things up to 3 weeks early. And also we have our full uncut reactions over there. Or you can just hang out with me here on YouTube. And last housekeeping thing before we move on is just to please, if you can go ahead and drop a like or a comment or subscribe. That really helps me in the algorithm. That also lets me know that I'm actually watching shows that you guys care about. So yay. Back to the show. So where we left off, we've got these 3 kids, 3 high schoolers. One of them is like trying to float off into the atmosphere, or trying not to, I should say. But the one girl, we know that she's something athletic. We don't really know what Mr. Student President is, what his deal is yet. You've got one teacher that seems to be on their side, and you've got one teacher that is really sketch, and a principal that's also really sketch. Mr. floated off into the atmosphere, has a mom with a gun under her sewing table. I don't know what her backstory is, but she clearly knows, or at least she's in. It's not paranoia if it's real. I was gonna say paranoid enough, but it's not really paranoia. She is aware enough about his situation and about the potential problems that she is paying attention to what's going on and trying to I guess prepare for it. And we got one guy who's going around deleting people. I'm going to go ahead and bet that he's a bad guy. It's really hard to judge right now because he's only killed one person, and the person he killed was clearly a bad guy, or at least gave off really strong bad guy vibes. So it's hard to actually know, but I'm gonna guess he's a bad guy. The comment about the children just really they're like, why do you need to know if he has children? Like, even if he's a bad guy, you don't go after kids. It's a rule. It's a hard and fast rule. You don't go after kids. And then you got the government, who's clearly not affiliated with the guy that's going around deleting people, but they are covering things up. I don't know where this is going. I haven't fully settled into a genre for this yet. Like, we know it's a superpowery thing, but it was like an action for a little bit, and then it's a political thriller for a little bit, and it's a slice of life for a little bit. It hasn't settled on a tone yet, so we're just gonna have to find out. But without further ado, let me go ahead and get the recording going. 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, December of 2023. 2003. Okay, got it. It couldn't have been that long ago, apparently, though, because she doesn't look much older, and I think that's her son, so... What year does this take place in? I missed what year Moving takes place in. Okay, it just says it's a 2023 show, so we're just gonna assume that the present is, like, 2023, but that would have been 20 years ago, and that doesn't make sense unless this is not him, unless this is somebody else. Okay, so that is him. She's holding him down. Oh. She's held on well. She's held on very, very well. So she's counting on her weight here to hold him down, and all of the bags that she's carrying.
여기 넓지. 이제 여기가 우리 집이야.
Jeep? 우리 집? That's not a... That's a warehouse, ma'am.
아가 어디 장애가 있는가?
They like his legs. Just lie and say his legs.
그리고 애가 정말 장애라도 있으면 어쩌려고 그러세요?
엄마.
Yeah, she's so used to being looked down on. She put a lot of candies in for him because of her own son.
몰랐나? 아 키우느라 거울도 못 봤나? 마음은 엄마도 힘들다. 서로 좀 뛰나야
Probably
배나낀데.
run into a lot of people who
그게 다 엄마 욕심이다.
have
아가 좀 크면은 엄마 뛰나줘야
questions
된다.
coming from a place of
아는 그래야
judgment
된다.
instead of from a place of sympathy, much less actual
검소가.
empathy. And this is how she's got to start letting him figure it out on
검소기가
his
해봐.
own. So she's got this place for 3 years
잘했어.
to what? To like experiment in.
다시.
Oh my gosh. That would be actually really difficult because you have to be able to have weight on your feet in order to learn how to balance on your feet.
엄마는 나를 향해 잘 웃어주지 않으셨다.
Oh. Oh, that's horrible. So she doesn't smile at him because I guess happiness would make you it feels like happiness would be the thing that makes you float. But you don't want to be unhappy all the time just to
잘했어 우리 봉석이.
How hard did you hit the ceiling that you got pieces of it falling down with you?
천장에 머리 박은 거라니까요.
아 그래 머리.
She's like, right,
아니요,
you
그게
just
아니라
of course you
제가
did,
머리를
honey.
여러
Yeah,
번
right.
박았고 그 와중에 여기 코도 박은 거거든요.
I wonder how strong is she now that she's been like carrying all of these weights all this time?
돈 벌어야 돼.
Is it really safe for you to be out on the roof?
있었어.
Is it safe for you to be out on the roof, sir? Is your ankle chained to the roof? Like, are you okay being out here?
읽어봐봐.
I'm genuinely concerned for this child. I don't know. I wonder what type of shows Ronan's gonna enjoy when he's that age.
영웅이라는 뜻이다.
Well, a hero's more than somebody that just has an
나도
ability.
하늘을 날 수
It's
있을지도 모른다.
what you choose to do with it. That would like the thing that sucks about his power is he has no control over it. Like he's doing all of these external things to try to put a lid on it, but he can't actually control it. No, kid. Don't do it. Either he's gonna float away or he's gonna break his leg. One of the two. One of the two. No, kid, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh my god, kid, don't. Oh my god, kid, don't. Okay, so if that is real, then the next thing that's gonna happen is somebody's gonna say something to somebody and then they're gonna have to run. Oh, you creepy sir. You creepy sir. So, you know how in the last episode I was saying he's acting kind of sus? I reiterate that. He's now very, very sus.
얼마나 멀리
No.
뛰었는지.
Oh, kid.
아이들이 그럴 수 있죠.
How bad is the other kid hurt? And the other kid didn't even do it when anybody was watching. He just wanted... He was feeling the same thing. That he wanted to be a part of that.
다른 사람 마음 아프게 하는 게 그게 무슨 영웅이야.
Well, that's a good lesson, actually. I actually really like that.
히어로.
That's a tough lesson, but it is a valid one. You saw that somebody else
다른
was
사람
doing
마음
something
헤아리지도
and
못하는 거,
you
그거.
wanted to... It's not that you wanted to be better than... Because he wasn't lording it over anybody. The first kid wasn't. He was just doing a fun thing with his friends. And then you stepped in and you kind of like... You stepped on him. Badly. No kiddo, no. Oh jeez, oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Like I know he's fine because we've seen him older, like not an adult, but like as a teenager, so we know he's fine, but oh my gosh. I would be flipping out as his mother right now. I'm kind of glad that they showed him as a teenager first because I'd have been stressed for his entire childhood, being like, are you gonna live? Because but we saw him as a teenager, so we don't have to stress so much, but oh my gosh. I honestly don't know how I'd handle that, because on the one hand, like, you really do need to teach your children to have empathy for others and to not... It's not just, like, about the showing off, it's about stealing somebody else's moment.
뭔 생각을 그렇게 하냐? 안 타?
I feel like I've seen this bus driver before, too.
그럼 그냥 친구?
I like this bus driver. He's a friendly bus driver. Of course, there'd be a lot of people acting sus at the school, so I don't know how much I can trust that. I can't... With photos, especially when they're like curved sideways like that, I'm like, I can't tell if that's who I thought it was. Who are you? Why is everybody? There's not a single person in this show that I trust. Alright, official, he's a bad guy.
은퇴자들을 왜?
난 잘 몰라요. 난 시키는 대로만 해요.
So so they used to have an organization, and they're retired. And they were in hiding, retired, like not part of an equation anymore. Unfortunately, we know who's gonna win this fight, because clearly he's gonna be, like, the main antagonist, and that means he's not dying in episode 2. Alright, so we got the interference is out there. The thing is, like, okay, so the first guy that he offed, clearly a bad guy. This guy that we know he's going to beat because, like, main antagonist and everything like that. I don't know that he's a bad guy. He seemed to be, like... But we don't know what he's done in the past, but we know that they did something for this organization that apparently this new guy works for. So somebody at this organization is wanting to take out people who retired. And it makes me wonder if the new powers are going in a more nefarious direction, and they need to make sure none of the old players are going to interfere. Good. He's putting up a fight. Unfortunately, he's short-circuited. He's got nothing left. But he burned the photo. I did not get a clearer image of who that photo was of, but he burned that photo. The bus driver knows. Or was the bus driver the other guy in the photo? So now he's going to be watching the place to see who comes by. And I'm guessing the bus driver is his son. Because he recognized, you saw the look on his face when he was looking at the radio. He knows something happened.
나 이 옆에 하느라 덕분이야.
Oh, he gave in really quick. He would have anyway because he's a nice kid.
따라와라.
I ain't following you. Don't start a fight. Don't end a fight. I know normally I'm a huge fan of ending fights, and I'm pretty good at it, but in this case, there's a murderous scumbag after people, and maybe you need to avoid this. So he's had cameos in quite a few things that I've seen, but I did look it up over the commercial break. Bus Driver was in Producers, which I watched a long time ago, and he was also, and I'm surprised because I didn't immediately pop into my head, was a Matrimonial Chaos. Oh, nice! Nice, you like punch the bottle. Okay, he's on the ground, you're done. He's on the ground, you're done. He's on the ground, you're done. There's a rule. There's an honor rule. When the opponent is on the ground, it's over. Stop it. Oh, dude. You, strength is your thing and you need to stop. How are you gonna explain that? I don't know how you explained that to anybody. I guessed when you held your fist that strength is your thing, but you're not explaining punching a tree in half to anybody.
이름이 KBS야?
Look at the Korea broadcasting system.
방기수 어디 갔냐?
He's been knocked unconscious.
방기수 아까 몸이 안 좋다고 좋대는데.
What I meant to tell you was I punched a tree in half after beating him to a pulp.
죄송합니다. 알아내는 대로 바로 조치 취하겠습니다.
Okay, so NIS, I think, is what we're looking at here, or some other government, but I would go
좀 더 지켜봐야 되겠어.
with NIS.
당국이 화재 현장을 조사하던 중 헌책방 주인인 전모 씨가
He was a fun, but he did not die. His neck was.
화재와 직접적인 관련이 있는지 경찰 당국이 면밀히 검토.
Nobody looking at his body is gonna think his death had anything to do with the fire.
뚜렷한 사건 정황을 파악하는데 나당을
Or I mean, his fire had anything to do with the death. Flop that reverse.
현장 목격자 등을 상대로
Oh, he's part of it. Oh. So are their parents also part of this group of retirees? It would make sense. Oh, she's gonna recognize the truck. So we have a fourth player in the game for the second generation of the kids. Now we don't know who the parent is for Mr. Student Body President.
너 학교에 아는 사람이 나쁜 이라며.
그래서 나 혼자 밥 먹을까 봐?
He's a sweetheart.
고마워.
He's so adorable. Yeah, no, this is gonna come back to bite. If you had just won the fight, it'd be one thing, but this is...
이발 새끼 진짜.
Look at the tree behind you and don't challenge that man again.
정원.
You, dude, Mr. Electric Person, you should have, okay, you needed to make sure that picture was fully burned. You needed to really make sure that picture was fully burned. It should have been your first priority was burning that photo. Now I'm stressed. They better not. That bus driver is nice. You leave the bus driver alone. Okay. Well, you know, in case anybody was on the fence about whether or not that guy's a good guy or a bad guy, we've established he's a bad guy. We're not forgiving him ever, ever, because that's gotta be the bus driver's dad. Maybe I'm completely like, because I only had a tiny glance at the photo and I was basing it more off of the driver's reaction to the radio because he looked like he knew exactly what was wrong. He was looking at that like he knew. And I'm really hoping that he doesn't go to the bookstore because that would be giving away the... I would hope that they had a discussion that if something happens and if something goes wrong, like he had to know that there was a risk out there somewhere. Because he didn't seem particularly shocked that someone came out. He was more like, why would they do this and everything, but he didn't seem shocked. So this is what I'm putting together. This is what I'm piecing together. You have one organization that's I'm pretty sure that I want to say it's NIS. I want to say it's the National Intelligence Service. Which I think is like the equivalent of the FBI. I don't actually know because I'm not as familiar. I've just seen it in other dramas, but I'm pretty sure that's the FBI equivalent. And then they've also mentioned NFS, which is the National Forensic Service. So that's kind of like whenever you have evidence that needs to be analyzed, you send it in. That's not really like something I'd be too concerned about. That's just, you know, analyze this evidence. But they clearly know who these people are. Because they had the file, like he knew exactly who that was, so they knew that somebody's going after them, and it's not them. So some other organization is doing it, which means some other organization knows who these people are, and is getting rid of them. Which there's two reasons why that might happen. One is because they have information that you don't want them to have, and you need to stop that information from existing. Or two, you are planning on doing something and those are the people that could get in your way. And you're trying to eliminate them before they team together to stop you from whatever you're doing. Now, it's a K-drama, there's action involved. I'm guessing the more nefarious route is the route that we're going to go. That there's actually a long-term game plan that they want to set off and they need to make sure that they are the only players in the game, so they're going to take out anybody who could interfere with what they're planning. So anybody else that has superpowers that realistically has a chance of stopping them, they're just getting rid of them. And that's why they're going after, that's why they're asking, do you have kids? They want to make sure they're knocking out everybody who might be able and willing and capable of stopping them. And since kids might have inherited whatever the parents had, that's why that is. Which is why you don't go exposing yourself by punching a tree in half. Okay, I don't know. So we got Mr. Super Strong Person. Now here's the thing. He's super strong. He didn't answer the kid's question. And we haven't seen Mr. Student Body President's parents. He might have been called in. I don't know if those were his relatives. I don't know if those were his actual parents. I don't think we saw them on screen. So they might actually be tied. I don't know. But I feel like we would have heard something if it had been. I don't know. I don't think Bong-suk's mom has any abilities, because she seems to not even know how to deal with this. So we don't know where his abilities came from. thinking that she knows about some of this stuff that's going on. She's clearly paid attention. She's clearly very analytical, which makes me think that she might have been part of the organization, just not somebody with special abilities. But she's on her own. She doesn't know how to deal with this. So I'm hoping that means he's a little more hidden than everybody else. And also, his power sucks. Like, he has a passive power that gets in the way. Okay? He doesn't even have a power that's helpful. It is a passive power that only ever causes him problems. It's this, like, literally, I can't think of a single worse power that I've ever seen in any show anywhere than besides, congratulations, you float, and you have no control over it. You can't do anything with it. Just, congratulations! It's just gonna mess with your life constantly for no benefit. We know, I saw the look on the guy's, on his dad's face. It clicked. He saw the bookstore go down, and you saw on his face that he knew what was happening, which means he knows he's on that list, which hopefully means that he will prep so that his daughter is left alone. From the flashback, I'm wondering if they've already been gone after, like if they've already been attacked at one point, because she looked like post-apocalyptic for a single frame in the first episode. She hasn't exposed herself yet. Hong Suk's doing a good job of not exposing himself. I don't know that the bus driver has any abilities at all in the first place to expose. Or like, he might, but he might just, like, be his father's son. But Mr. Student Body President, who they actually said his name in this episode, and I didn't catch it, so I'll have to double check between. He just punched a tree in half. You can't hide that. Like, somebody's gonna look at that and be like, what happened? There's an art to beating the bully, okay? You do enough damage to knock them down, and then you let them stay down. And if they stand up, you knock them down again. And you just make sure that they get the message that anytime they stand up, you're gonna knock them back down. But you don't do anything beyond that. You don't pick them back up when they're down. You don't do that. When they're on the ground, when the threat has been neutralized, you do not continue doing anything. That, first of all, that's an honor code right there. Like, that's just part of the honor code. If you find yourself in a situation where you must fight, when the threat is neutralized, the fight is over. If you keep fighting after the fight is over, after the threat has been neutralized, you keep going, you are no longer, like, justified in your violence. Like, you could have stopped. You did what you had to do to protect yourself or to protect somebody else, and once you no longer have to, then you stop. That's the rules. That's the rules. And he broke the rules, and I know he's probably been holding back, but he broke the rules, and he broke a tree. And that's going to come back, I think, to bite everybody. And then I still think, I might have misseen it, but I really thought I saw the teacher on that list at one point. But I might have been wrong. I wish I could see. I want the information. I want to know what all information he has. Because he's even mentioned that his information is not always accurate. Doesn't stop him from killing everybody he sees, but, his information is not always accurate. I want to know who's on the list. I don't really know what to expect for things coming up next or where it's going to go. I just, like, other than what I've already said about the things that are going to come back to bite people, and then just hoping that certain people stay safe, because, like, you got at least 2 people that are, like, as I said, the bus driver was super friendly and everything like that. And I'm going to take the potential susness concern away from him. It was just because everybody else in the show was acting super sus, so I just assumed everybody was sus. But, now that we know he was related to the guy from the bookstore, then I'm like, okay, he's just another second-generation potential victim. Yeah, I'm really curious about how the mom got involved and about who Hong Suk's dad is. Because he didn't get it from his mom, because she didn't even know how to deal with it. At first, it took her like a wake-up call from a stranger being like, yo, I get that this is hard for you. I know, because I've been there. It's hard. Like, obviously not the same way. But, look in the mirror, your son is being suffocated and you are being suffocated, and this is clearly not working. And it's not a judgment on you, and it's not looking down on you, and it's not making assumptions about you and your child. It's just, I can tell looking at you that both of you are suffering, and you need to take a deep breath and find another way of handling it. Which she did. And it's gone well. I'm very confused about the time of this, though, because that said 2003. And there is no way that this is 20 years later, because then he would be like 25 and not in high school. I don't know what year it is. And I tried looking it up and it didn't say. And I was afraid of doing too much to look it up, because I was afraid I would start seeing spoilers, and I didn't want spoilers. I just wanted to know what year it took place in. If you know what year Moving takes place in, please let me know, because it's driving me nuts. All right, but that's going to be it for today. So thank you all for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to check out the Patreon or just hang out with me here on YouTube, whatever floats your boat. But that's going to be it. Okay, so bye-bye. Annyeong.